All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, man, we had some really good news for boxing yesterday. And right on the top of it, we get, and this is so predictable, some really bad news at the same time. It's almost like every time something good happens, somebody comes around and says something that makes it not so good. It's almost like a coordinated effort. The PBC signs a major deal, announces, it's probably already signed a while ago, announces a huge deal that they're going to be on Amazon Prime. And immediately it comes out from respected sources, respected by some people, I don't respect them, that the PBC has lost many of their major fighters. At the same time, Deontay Wilder and several other notable fighters, could be Errol, Spence, have decided that they are calling other promoters to look to work with them because they don't want to go to Amazon Prime. How convenient. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're gonna be in the 100 and everything pound title, pound weight division, where we had a really big announcement, and I'm gonna talk about some of the details of this announcement that came from the PBC. But at the same time, and this happens every time the PBC does something, news comes out that makes you have to doubt whether the PBC is going to survive until tomorrow. Now, we have been in the Premier Boxing Champions survival mode since 2015, if I recall correctly. That means they've been on a lifeline, according to people, for the last 8 years. Now, what is it? It is that Errol, Spence, and Gervonta Davis and other fighters are Deontay Wilder is the one example, the big example that he used. The Deontay Wilder has left the PBC, and all these other fighters are looking to leave them as well because they're concerned about the fight dates that they can get and all of that. Now, Before I get into it, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. Thank you for listening to me when I do these boxing videos. Without you guys listening to the channel, I couldn't continue to do it. And the positivity that you guys bring to the comment sections by hitting the like buttons and all that stuff is really, really energy bringing to me personally. So thank you guys very much. You give me a good reason to get up in the morning and to overlook a lot of these very, very abusive people on the internet. So thank you guys very, very much. And thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks. It is a really big deal. It's a way that you can support content creators whose content you enjoy. But let's get into it. So Amazon, they do a deal, a multi-year deal, where this year their Amazon Prime and the PBC are going to put on between 12 and 14 pay-per-view events and other events that are non-pay-per-view. There will also be shoulder programming and film footage of older fights made available, right? So the PBC archive, and let me tell you, this is big for me because this is the first time that the PBC's fighting archives have really been made available. It's very like you get them uploaded to the PBC YouTube channel after a long period of time has gone by, but then they take them down. Showtime really didn't keep them up a lot, but so that's just something for me that I'm looking forward to. But the 14 pay-per-views, 12 to 14 pay-per-view events, that's more pay-per-view events than they were doing over there on Showtime. And when you're talking about pay-per-view events, you're really, with the PBC and the fighters they have, that's everybody. That's pretty much an opportunity for all of their big name fighters to fight. And several of their big name fighters to fight multiple times a year. That's probably 3 of the 12 to 7, the 12 to 15. 2 of those going to be Gervonta Davis. 2 of those can be Errol Spence. 2 of those or 3 of those can be Canelo Alvarez. Then you're going to have Jamal Charlo. You got, and then you have guys like Tim Tszyu and the people that are not necessarily going to be on the pay-per-views, that are on the non-pay-per-view deals, right? And then there's another aspect of it where you have to think that Showtime wasn't able to put on long fight cards, where you have, now that you have, that you're on Amazon Prime, and Amazon Prime being a streaming service, right? And it having so many different things that are going to be able to be aired live at the same time. You don't have a problem now with the time frame of playing the event on the network like you did with Showtime, where with Showtime you may get, say you get 4 or 5 fights, 6 fights, right? And then you got some of the fights that may take place on their Showtime channel, on their YouTube channel. But the Zone, man, you'll be watching the Zone card from 10 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the 4 o'clock in the afternoon, with the length of those cards, with as many fights as they put on. So depending on how they set up, it might be a lot more. Now, the thing with me though is like, these people claim that they care for what's good for boxing, but there's no way. So as soon as this comes out, they talk about Deontay Wilder leaving. Deontay Wilder, I don't know. I didn't talk to Deontay Wilder, right? Obviously, I didn't. That's not obvious, but I had not talked to Deontay Wilder, and I don't know what his relationship is with the PBC anymore. However, I know this: he didn't have to leave them because he could already do what he wanted to do. Already can do it. He went over and took a deal to fight over there in Saudi Arabia for ridiculous amounts of money with big name heavyweights, all on one of the biggest heavyweights cards it's one of the biggest heavyweight cards ever, right? You just have to say it. So that one-off opportunity doesn't mean that he's not available to fight on Amazon Prime. You know what I mean? And if you look at the thing with Errol Spence also can go fight wherever he wants to fight. Errol Spence has an advisory contract and a managerial contract with Al Haymon. He doesn't have a promotional contract. So when guys like Rick Glazier muck up that line, it makes it look like everybody is leaving the PBC for other promoters, when the PBC is not a promoter. The PBC is a boxing platform, and that's just what it is. And no matter how many times you try to call and act like it is that it is something else, it isn't something else. It is just a platform that fighters fight on. And then they have other promoters that come in. What about David Benavidez? Is David Benavidez leaving Samson Leskovich because of the Amazon Prime deal? No, he's first, and he says thank you to Al Haymon every single solitary time, bro. Look, man, I really wish people could just be happy that the PBC is there, because they put on most of the very, very, very good cards in the United States. The big pay-per-view, almost all of the big events that a lot of people get interested in are PBC events. And it just gets old to sit there and listen and watch these people just waiting for these guys to fall apart. And then you literally got media outlets that repeat things that Rick Glazier says, even though Rick Glazier has credibility number 0. And they'll even say it in the article when they say it. They'll acknowledge, well, a lot of people don't think he has credibility, but this is what he says. Well, if a lot of people don't think he has credibility, even though that's not the way ProBox phrased it, they phrased it, a lot of people are mad at him. No, they're not. They're mad at him because he's full of it, not mad at him because they're just emotional people that don't like to hear the truth. Just, man, these dudes in the boxing media are so manipulative. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out.